Greetings and beyond the new, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dermy Wormy, and I'm back with yet another video. And with How to Train Your Dragon coming out this weekend, we're starting to see some more promotional material come out. Some of the actors are doing interviews, and one actor in particular started to grab the internet's eye, that being Nico Parker. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Nico Parker is a mixed-race individual playing the role of Astrid in the live-action How to Train Your Dragon. Now, Astrid is famously, well, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Viking woman that mainly flies a dragon named Stormfly, and is also the love interest to our main protagonist, Hiccup. So it did drum up some controversy when Nico Parker was cast as Astrid, considering, well, Nico Parker doesn't look anything like Astrid.
His name was shit Sherlock, first name no.
And especially when the first round of promotional material started actually leaking out on the internet and people actually got to see what Nico Parker will be looking like as Astrid, it really didn't ease the tension around this character, especially when you just simply take a look at the hair. Heck, if you just gave her a blonde wig, people probably wouldn't be coming out here freaking out about it as much, but you couldn't even do that little thing. You had to give her blonde highlights throughout her actual hair. But in a recent interview with The Times, Nico Parker actually did address this stuff, and it's what you would expect from a 20-year-old chick. There's some people that really love the animated movies and really want to see an exact play-by-play of that film, and I hope that you can watch the new version and find something that you love about it regardless. Well, when you take a look at the new version and several of the trailers that are out there right now, yeah, it is pretty much a shot-for-shot recreation of the actual animated movie, so it really does become more questionable when we see changes like this. But if she would have left it there, that would have drummed up interest. Now, would it have, guys? Because she went on to say this: but for the people that just hate inclusivity, hate change, when it comes to that side of things, I just don't care. If I wouldn't value your opinion on most things in life, I can't value your opinion on my hair. If I did, I would go mad.
Fuck!
Well, considering a lot of these people are your fans, are actually fans of the original IP, and want this movie to do well, I would honestly think wanting them to be happy would be at your highest priority. But when you come out here and start preaching about inclusivity, that already tells me that you don't care about this movie. That tells me that all you really are caring about right now is to virtue signal and to play the victim, when all audiences are wanting is for you to have the accurate hair color. That's it. This is just about respecting the source material, and when audiences saw your character out there in live action, they did not like it because, well, it's not what they grew up with. How to Train Your Dragon is a beloved IP, spanning 3 actual movies, 2 main series spin-off TV shows, and then 1 after-the-fact TV show that nobody really talks about. And now you're coming out here playing one of the main characters in this actual show, and instead of ingratiating yourself with your fans, instead of just saying, hey, I get it, there's gonna be changes, trying to put the people that are frustrated with this change at ease, instead of doing any of that, you antagonize them. But she didn't just stop there, guys. She would then go on to say, when I was younger, the amount of mixed race or black icons, people that I would look to on screen, be like, oh, this feels like me, felt really minimal in comparison to what it could be for young people now. And I think that's really special. There's still a long way to go for women in general in terms of new parts, original material, and female-led stories, but I think that everything changing, I'd like to think that I could contribute to that change at some point.
Wait a minute!
Well, wouldn't that actually go against what's going on here? Because you're saying, hey, let's have new characters, new roles for black female actors, but instead of going out and attracting a new role and a new character, you just commandeered an old one and changed it. And furthermore, you openly say that you like the change because it accommodates you and it's not accommodating the actual fans or audience. But let's not forget, guys, this thought process has permeated throughout the production of this actual show. We can go over to an Instagram post from the actual director of the movie in which he comes out and shows off a reply that he said on Instagram. We auditioned many actors for the role, including actors who looked like their animated counterparts. Oh, well, you should have stopped it there. But we chose the actors who best embodied the spirit and personality of the characters, since the tribe in this version is made up of descendants of the finest dragon fighters from everywhere the Vikings had ever traveled, which historically was far and wide. Vikings mixed with many cultures. Yes, they did mix with many cultures. They went all over the world. They were actually some of the first settlers here in America even. But that doesn't change the fact that this is supposed to be a Viking-centric fantasy film. You're now trying to bring in reality and you're changing up characters to fit your own modern day isms. But he wouldn't just stop there, because he's bringing up reality while simultaneously trying to have his cake and eat it too by saying, still, we're crafting a fantasy, not historical fact. Well, I mean, you just brought up historical facts, but shocker that this is a fantasy considering dragons don't exist! And all will be revealed in time. We're not making a shot-for-shot remake. Again, trailers could have said otherwise. We just stuck close to key moments to honor the original, which I remain very proud of. And yet you decided to change the original for the modern dayism. So how can I believe that you are actually proud of your original work when you changed it already? And mind you guys, this isn't just exclusive to Nico Parker over here. You can actually go take a look at the cast and you can see they made a lot of different changes that don't make any logical sense. Starting with one of my main point of criticisms actually being Julian Dennison as Fish Legs. Considering when you actually take a look at Fish Legs, again, large fat dude, blonde hair, and Julian Dennison, when he's actually all dressed up, he's still the brunette. They didn't change his hair color, they just kept him with the original hairstyle that he had. You also have people like Bronwyn James coming out here to play Ruffnut, and when you take a look at Ruffnut from the animated version compared to how Bronwyn James is going to be portraying her in the actual show itself, it's night and day. Ruffnut being a very thin blonde chick, Bronwyn James being, well, not so thin and a ginger. Simultaneously, her identical twin brother Toughnut is being played by Harry Traveldwyn. And when you take a look at Harry Traveldwyn, yeah, he kind of has that Toughnut look to him until you take a look at how he's actually being portrayed in the show, where they openly changed his hair color to match that of Bronwyn James's hair color.
That's really dumb.
So you can already see that they're making changes to the original cast and characters that don't make any sense. Honestly, Bronwyn's hair color should be changed to match that of Harry's hair color, but instead you're changing Harry's hair color to match that of Bronwyn's. Make that make sense when Ruffnut and Toughnut are supposed to be scrawny, blonde-haired, blue-eyed individuals. But to add insult to injury, ladies and gentlemen, you can take a look at somebody like Mason Thames, who's playing Hiccup. They look identical in this actual creation here. They look one-to-one, and it's honestly astounding. I can even take a look at Gerard Butler playing Stoic again. Exactly the same. Maybe increase the beard a little bit, but I can't really complain that much here. You can even go down to Nick Foster playing Gobbert. Nick Foster being a brunette individual, and when you take a look at his portrayal of Gobbert, he's already blonde. They even got his beard exactly the same. So when you see actors portraying their animated counterparts almost exactly alike, but in other instances having nonsensical changes all over the place, you really start to question what's going on here. For crying out loud, even the CGI dragons look exactly the same.
Forget number 6, you're now serving nonsense.
And also, you know, Universal realizes just how important these characters have to be to their original counterparts when you can go over to Epic Universe's How to Train Your Dragon Land and you can see their interpretation of Astrid is the exact same from the animated series. And I bring up these other examples of changes just to show that this is more than just Nico Park's portrayal of Astrid. This is an issue well prominent within the actual movie itself, and something that goes well beyond just Nico Parker's hair color not being exactly the same. This is them showing that they're more than willing to make changes to the original story to fit these modern day-isms because they're not actually proud of what came prior. Again, just go back to what the director said in response to that one person. When you go through what he's saying here, he's trying to use actual historical fact while simultaneously hiding behind the fact that this is going to be a fantasy movie. Then he says that he's proud of his original work, but at the same time, he's more than happy to make these vast changes that contradict what he originally did and what even Universal is doing right now at Epic Universe. And when you break this all down, this is just them showing that they care more about the modern audience than their actual audience. And this is an issue permeating all throughout Hollywood right now. Just take a look at the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. I haven't even done a video on that one yet, but you knew that movie was screwed from the beginning when they announced Silver Surfer, Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, and recently that Sue Storm was going to be the leader of the team.
Dude, the fuck?
They don't care about the actual fans. They don't care about the actual audience that come out here and support these projects and these IPs. They care about this mythical modern audience that doesn't exist anymore. And when it comes to How to Train Your Dragon live action, that movie's probably gonna do extremely well at the box office. It's definitely gonna make its money back and then some, and is honestly gonna be this massive success because even I'm excited for that movie coming out here. I'm just upset with the fact that in reality, they don't care about people like me who really love this IP and really love this world and are more willing to bend over for a modern audience that doesn't exist. But hey, that's just my take on all this. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Shout out friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.